Welcome to Conversations with Toy, a blogcast tackling life one episode at a time. This is the time to air out life's craziest moments. This space is all about speaking about life's hang-ups and ways in which we can leave better than when we started. Topics are all about ways we can find space to be better in life, love, mental space, and health.
Happy Friday. I hope that you have had the most amazing week. Thank you so much for being a part of this episode with Conversations with Toy. I am Toy, your podcaster, and if this is your first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. In this episode, I'm going to talk about some light things, and I'm going to give a trigger warning. We will be talking about the death of a baby and a brand that we all need to come together and collectively have a come to Jesus moment. Okay? But before we get started, again, I just want to welcome you if this is your first time. I do not believe that things happen by mistake or they just happen just happenstance. I believe that if you stumbled upon this episode, there is something in this episode that you may need. I talk about wellness and self-care and mental health quite often. Matter of fact, it's going to always appear in almost every episode that we do. This is season 12, and I'm just so grateful to still be doing what I am doing. I am so grateful for us to just be here. I am grateful for the space. This is yet another platform. Since you may not know, I am not only a podcaster, but I am also a content creator. I am a blogger, freelance writer. I do it all, and also being a wife and a mother of 3 amazing children. So again, welcome to this week's episode. Again, we're going to talk about some light things, and then we're going to head off into the heavy, and then we're going to finish it out. It is spring. Spring has sprung. I don't know about you, but the way I feel so good about that, I feel absolutely good about that because these winter blues have been kicking my actual behind. And I know that I'm not the only one. Now, I will say that this probably was an easier year for me. Like, it wasn't as bad. I've had some winter seasonal depression times where it's been just unbearable. Just absolutely unbearable. But I feel that this has not been as bad. It wasn't as bad. Praise the Lord. So, with that being said, it doesn't matter that it was bad or it was, this one was better than the others. Seasonal depression can be debilitating for some. And let me also just preface, seasonal depression, although we associate it with the winter time, with the winter blues, it can happen at any time. So let's just say now that we're into the spring, since we just celebrated spring yesterday, and you may still be feeling like, okay, I feel a little bit better, but I'm not fully out. That is, again, totally fine. You could actually have the summertime. I know people who struggle, like when the summertime comes, they struggle. It's understandable. There are some people who struggle at the end of like going into summer and the fall. Seasonal depression happens all the time. So I know that I personally experienced seasonal depression in the wintertime, and this is why I'm super grateful for spring. It's almost like it's a weighted countdown. We were like at the beginning of the winter, and I was like, Lord, when is spring coming? When is spring coming? And now spring is here. So again, happy spring. It is also National Flowers Day. So if you love a good flower, whatever that flower may be, I want you to make sure that you go ahead and try to get yourself some flowers. One of the things that you can do when it comes to the spring, and if you're struggling, you're trying to get out, it's about how you change your outlook, how you see the spring. This is the time to, of course, spring cleaning and all that stuff. I love that because I love decluttering. I love the smell of clean. I like doing like the extra harder cleaning, putting some extra emphasis into the things that are necessary and needful. I love that about the spring. Adding some color. You would be surprised about adding a few hues of yellow, maybe some brighter purples or pastel, whatever you need. I encourage you to do it. Yellow is one of those things that does it for me. Now, what I have learned from my personal stuff, I cannot speak for other people, but this works for me. If you ever catch me in the wintertime and I have yellow nails, straight across the board, it's not just because I like yellow. It's going to be because I needed yellow to help me out of a funk. So if you ever see me in any form of yellow, any shade of yellow in the wintertime, it's because I am attempting to allow myself the process to get past my winter blues. I might be struggling a little bit more. Whatever the case, that is what that is for. Okay? That's just me. That doesn't have to be your thing. It's just my thing. One of the things that I'm loving about spring is getting outside. I can't stress this enough. 10 minutes outside a day. It doesn't matter if it's raining. Getting outside can literally boost the mood. It literally can boost the mood. And so we need to take the stock of making sure that we get outside. Just take a walk. You know, I'm a runner. I'm getting outside. I'm getting my run on. I'm going to the gym. I'm doing all these different things. But when the weather breaks, I want to be outside a little bit more. I am encouraging you. I'm legitimately encouraging you to get outside, see some world, see some nature, because at the end of the day, your mental health and wellness does truly matter. It does matter the time that you take to take care of yourself. All these things do play a huge part in how we move and thrive. And so getting outside is key. Getting outside is key. So again, it's all about finding ways to help with your mental health and your wellness. And wellness and mental health is really just a journey. It's an absolute journey because everybody goes through the journey so differently. I need things that are different from moment to moment, day to day, month to month, week to week, all these different things. And you may need something that's completely different. But the beauty of life is that we're all able to do the things that are important to us so that we can thrive. We can do the things that we need to do. And I'm just grateful for that. One of the things I want to talk about is a couple things that happened here in Philadelphia with a couple of the influencers. And let's get right on into it because I'm not the first person to talk about this. Ernest from Earnestly Speaking. And Ernest is an amazing journalist here in Philadelphia, and he has broken many stories many a times. And let's just go ahead and get into it. So there's an influencer here by the name of Brand Flakes. Brand Flakes is very well known. If you go onto TikTok, you can go on Instagram, you can go on Facebook. If you Google him, you will find all the things. Well, he finally hit 1 million views or viewers, followers, I should say, on TikTok. In the midst of this, and his numbers were always climbing. Like his numbers is always climbing. So there was an article that was published, and in the article it stated that Brand was basically saving Black businesses. And the reality of it is that he did influence. He did do a lot to influence people to donate to one GoFundMe. There was at least 3 businesses. The first business, which was Chubby, was it Chubby? Let me look that up for y'all. Chubby Chicks here in Philadelphia. And this particular business was saying that they were being harassed and discriminated against. And at first we all thought it was the businesses that were surrounding it, discovered that it was the people that lived, I guess, in the building above them, above the business. And so once everybody caught news of this, which was done by Dr. Afia on Instagram, it began to take off. Her story went viral. Everybody got involved. I've even made a video about it on my TikTok. And again, people were making videos. We were trying to go and support, go and do all the things. And so Brand decided he was going to go down there. He makes a video. He goes down and patrons. He gives a great tip. He does all the things. So then that happened. And so Dr. Afia was so grateful for Brand doing that, coming down and, because he didn't have to. Nobody has to do anything, right? So he does all these things. And then there's another business where I believe it was like almost like a smoothie bowl salad type of business, and he helped that Black business by making a GoFundMe. And then instead of just making a GoFund, he put like at least $3,000 dollars to start the GoFundMe off, which again made such a big impact because once everybody else started donating, it really did help her. The young lady was, about to lose her business and, just a whole lot of gamuts of things. And so she was able to then do her thing. The third business is a cleaning business. And in this particular cleaning business, Brand again made a video and everything, went and exploded. It definitely exploded. So, does Brand have influence? Absolutely. He has influence. I think what ended up happening, I don't have to think, the story came out, was written by a black man, and this is very important because I did not realize that at first. So the story was written that basically Brand was out here saving these black businesses, and that wording and that phrasing was problematic. And here is why. It was problematic because you can't talk about Brand saving black businesses because that white savior mentality is very much real. And so this goes down, and Ernest, again, who was a journalist here in Philadelphia, got the information, discovered it, posted it, and that's how we all found out about it. I saw the article before Ernest said anything. So before Ernest made a post, I saw the article because it came up on my belief Facebook for me. So I saw the article and I'm like, I know who that is. Let me read it. So again, I'm reading it, not recognizing that it's a black journalist or black writer that wrote this story. And that's very important because it's like, I don't understand how anybody who is black would make and use that as a headline, or if the boss or the people who, make the final calls, put that in there. But nobody should ever say anything about a quote unquote white savior saving black businesses. I do believe he did use his influence greatly, at least on the very two. The first one was definitely done by Dr. Afia, and he did influence. He still has influence. Brand has influence. Anything that Brand says, anything that Brand does, people will flock and go and do. If Brand drops something and says, "Hey, I have an affiliate for," it could be Cocoa Puffs. People are gonna buy Cocoa Puffs whether they like Cocoa Puffs or not because he just is that influential. Nobody, I believe, can take that from him. He has an influence. He has a following, and those people in the following, they respond to the things he says and does. Again, my biggest issue was the white savior comment. Well, Ernest got into, basically after he posted it, some of Brand's people came to him because first Ernest never posted that it was Brand. I think it kind of was like understood. It was just never added. Then after, I believe Brand said something to him, then some of Brand's followers said something to him, and the him is Ernest. That's when it came out that it was Brand. Now, the other thing that has come out recently is that there was a PR that's actually been like shopping the story to get other people to post about it. Because again, when you have a story that's written on your client, you want to get that story out multiple times. You want multiple people to share it. And if you can slide into the DMs or emails of other people who then will have an issue sharing it, the more that it goes out, it becomes more viral. Now, if this is your client, viral, and especially a viral moment, could be a very lucrative moment for you. Now, I don't know if this particular person in PR is getting paid. I do know for a fact, I have seen it for myself, the email that suggests is that this is now going around where, again, hey, why don't you post this? This is a great story, something that you might be able to share with your people and share with your community. This is happening. This is 100% happening. I've seen the email myself. Again, I think that there were definitely points that were made, and I definitely believe and grateful that Dr. Afia had a conversation with Brand about the word and the word choices of the white savior. Black people have been saving their own selves, and there has definitely been Black influencers and creators that even here in the Philadelphia that has been doing this work long before it became a viral moment. Okay, I just need to stress that it was being done well before it became a viral moment. And again, I can only say hopefully that Brand would learn to not use those verbiages, because that verbiage is very important, very, very important in the Black community, that doesn't get said. The issues that have come since then is that there was the issue with Naya. You can follow her, and I will leave the tag for Brand and Naya. And her tag is the WRITEHER. So the write her. Right? I love that, right? And she had an issue where I don't know how this came out, but the conversation shifted from the businesses to the fact that Brand disclosed that he was making over like $700,000 a year, and a lot of Black content creators was just like the wage gap of content creation is, you know, huge. And it's true, 110% it's true. I could do the same content as my counterpart, and my counterpart will get me paid 2 times more than I would from the gate without trying. And so Brand opened up the door on TikTok to have that conversation about it. And it caused other people to make other videos about this, you know, this gap in pay. One of the other issues that came up, and this is why I'm bringing up Naya, was the fact that with Naya, she had won an award last year with the Philly Mag when they had done an influencer award and do one. I think this is like the second one, and second or third. And in that, her award physically was broken. She reached out to them via email. She saw them in person and told them it happened, and nobody fixed it. Then fast forward to this stuff coming out this week, and Brand goes on and makes a post, a complete full post about the fact that Naya's thing was, you know, her award was not her thing, but the award was broken, and how Philly Mag is kind of like cosplaying as if they're supporting content creation and content creators in general. But reality is that they didn't. Apparently the magazine that everybody who wins, they get this magazine spread. They have to pay $50 for this magazine instead of getting at least 1 or 2 copies that are theirs because they're in a magazine. Why would they not receive a copy of it? Okay. That makes no sense, right? That just doesn't make sense. And all of these things have come out since then. Here's my 5-second take. And I've said this on TikTok. So if you've followed me on TikTok, I'm sure you have heard about it. The reason why Brand is able to call out Philly Mag, the reason why Brand is able to call out anybody is because, one, he already has enough influence that he can do so without any problematic behavior coming back to him. As a Black woman, I won't even make it black or white. I'll just say as a smaller content creator, I cannot do such things without being banned. Now, that doesn't stop me from doing and saying things because I believe in speaking up for the truth. I personally do. So I'm not one of those ones who will throw a rock and hide my hand. If I feel strongly about it to the point where I can make a video, I will. And that's what I did. I made a video regarding the whole Naya situation, and I'm just like, I can't understand for the life of me why this is allowable. Why is this a thing? They have since, you know, from Naya, they have since come back and said this was an oversight. And Naya's not buying it. She is not accepting that it is an oversight. I believed I spoke to her personally, in person. I spoke to her, Naya, personally, in person. And the understanding is that the conversation was maybe okay at some points and not okay at other points. And so now here we are. I just want to know what changes will take place in the Philadelphia content creation space because there is so many changes that need to be made. If you scour my social media, you will find many a times where I've spoken up about certain things because some things just don't make any sense. Literally, sometimes the PRs here in the city, they will literally do you dirty. They're just trying to get what they can get. They want to get free. They never want to pay anybody, or they only want to pay their few selects, right? And so the Philadelphia content creation space has been in shambles all week behind the debate. And it really, I don't even know if it was a debate. I honestly don't feel like it was a debate. I think it was about the calling out of the situation. And then in the midst of the calling out, then it became an issue. And it's really sad to me. It's sad for us to be fighting for our lives in this content creation space in Philadelphia. I've been expressing to so many people that they need to expand beyond Philadelphia. They need to be able to expand to other areas. They need to expand to having other things underneath their belt other than content creation. You know, having several revenues of income is helpful. It's literally helpful. It will keep you afloat. It will allow you to do the things that you need to do to allow you to reach your goals. And so that is what's been happening here in the Philadelphia content creation space. My issue with a lot of this is that, again, a lot of this can be changed, but it's going to take more than calling out things. It's going to be like, what's the next plan? Like, what's next? Like, what is actually next? What I can say is that there are movements that are happening. There are Black-owned news organizations that have now stepped up. And because of that, I hope that It's going to give people a space to amplify their voices, to amplify the things that they are passionate about. And I have stood about this for the first time I've ever started blogging to now, because I was a blogger first before I became an influencer. You have to understand your why, because if you don't know that, you're not going to go far. You will get burnt out to the point where you don't even know if you want to do this anymore. You're going to get burnt out to the point where you're like, I don't care anymore. I don't want to be a part of this anymore. And you will get drained beyond belief. Also, not knowing your why is going to set you up for failure, because you'll be chasing numbers, you'll be chasing dollar signs, you'll be chasing a whole bunch of things that have no alignment to what you are calling your purpose. There is no reason to be a content creator if you don't have a purpose. Right? Even if you're a foodie content creator, you should have a purpose. If it's just to say, hey, I want people to know that there's good places to live, eat around in our city and around the surrounding areas. Whatever your purpose is, whatever the thing you're trying to do, it has to align, because things like being snubbed at an award show, things like getting your awards broken and then being ignored only till the big content creator speaks up on your behalf because your voice wasn't strong enough. They dismissed your voice but couldn't deny his. That is going to happen in this journey. You got to have thick skin. You got to be prepared. You should still speak up. You should still have your thoughts by it, but you should know that it could possibly happen. Okay, so that is the nutshell about what happened here in the Philadelphia content creator scene. And again, everybody's not going to agree. Everybody's not going to say, okay, you're right. I see where you're going with that. So people are so intended on making sure that they just be miserable about things that they will continue to do so. Okay, they will continue to do so. So here's part of the conversation where I'm going to have to give a trigger warning. We are going to be talking about a death of a baby. And we're not going to get into details because there's no details to share. There's no details necessary whatsoever. So I am scrolling on the Clock app, which is also called TikTok. And I'm looking, normal scrolling, doing my thing, just seeing different things that are going on, checking my own numbers on TikTok. And I come across a story of a young lady, an influencer, who was sent a bassinet from the company called Happiest Baby. And they send this influencer this bassinet, and they're asking that she would tag them with her baby in the bassinet, just show it's a good product, blah blah blah. This is not anything abnormal. There are a million one times. I still have unboxings right now. I believe I have about 4 to 5 boxes that I have not unboxed yet, and I do need to unbox it, and I will get to it. Here is the issue. They sent her the bassinet. They wanted her to take these photos and stuff. Not sure if she was getting paid or not. And I'm going to tell you where the issue lies on either way, whether she was getting paid or whether she was not. So she gets this bassinet. She's received it. Thank God. Everything is beautiful, going well. And unfortunately, her baby passes away. I don't know if this baby passed away inside of this mother or when the baby was born, after the mother had gotten home. None of those details were explained, and I honestly don't need them. Because for me, hearing about a baby dying is going to trigger me. And you may be hearing the same thing saying, girl, me too. Okay, so that's why I'm giving a trigger warning. We are not going to talk about any intricate details because we don't have them and we don't need them. The issue is that the young lady was given this bassinet and she was asked to tag. Now, the fact that she was asked to tag kind of makes me want to lean into the fact that it might have been a gifted campaign. And let me explain to you, for those who are not a content creator, there are content creators that get both paid and gifted. I am one of those. And so a gifted one is just exactly what it is. It's supposed to be gifted to you with no strings attached. You are supposed to be able to either decide if you like it, try it out, and or you just get it and you post. It's up to you. It's all up to you. I have never been a part of any gifted campaign by which I'm giving this long list of things that must be done. The second you start telling me what must be done, then we are now have to talk about a contract. We have to now remove this from a campaign of gifted to a campaign that's paid, because I'm not about to do a whole bunch of work just so you can be good. And then I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that for free, because essentially when you get a gifted campaign, it's free product. It's not necessarily a paid anything, but you're getting in product. Now, the reason how I choose personally, if I'm going to do a gifted campaign, is one, even if you try to gift it to me, I'm always going to rebuttal and send you an email saying, hey, what is your budget? Let's talk about your budget. You should do that almost every single time when someone tries to send you something. Hey, I have a pitch about how we can make this a longevity or a long sponsorship or a long partnership, whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, this is what I try to do. Now, there are plenty of times when I've done that and it has not made its way from gifted to then paid. However, I'm very clear that if I'm receiving something as a gifted, I'm not doing this whole required to do things, because at the end of the day, I personally try every product before I ever bring them to anybody, because I feel like it's super important to do so. I'm not one of those people that you can send a product to, get a good picture, get a good angle, do a reel, and then we just move forward. That's just not me. That's just a personal conviction. It's not for everybody. So then you have paid. So with paid, it's self-explanatory. You decide, both parties come to an agreement about what the payment is going to be. You decide what is also included at that. Whether you're going to do multiple social media, campaign, meaning you're going to post this on different places. You're going to just keep it at one. If you have a blog or a website like myself, I can post it on there. So that opens up the door to just put in more where you can, do all the posting. With paid, it's very clear about your due dates. It's very clear about what's the ask. All of that's clear. The verbiage that the sister who wrote the story gave is leading me to believe that it might have been more of a gifted campaign. And the reason why I believe that is because of the simple fact of saying you need to tag us. If it was a campaign that was paid, those type of requirements would have already been given to you before you received the product. There would have been a signed agreement that says you must do A, B, and C, because you're being compensated, not just in product, but you're being compensated for your time. The product is probably, you do need that obviously, but it's your time. I had a company reach out to me the other day, and the company it seems legit. I looked everything up. I like what they're talking about. I think that they would be a great asset for many people. But my first question is, I hear you, I see you. Now, what are we going to do about compensation? Because for me to create any level or any form of content is time consuming. By the time you set up your camera to go to record, by the time you hit the edit, and God forbid you had to put in a blog post, now you're writing, trying to find ways to integrate this material, basically. So again, I just believe that this might have been more of a gifted, because for them to say, hey, let's get into what actually happened. So they sent this bassinet and they're emailing her, asking her, where is the content? Well, lo and behold, the sister saw this email, or is helping the sister out while she's down in her midst of her grief because this baby has passed away. She emails the company and lets them know what happened. And even though they're fully aware of what happened, they said that the mother needed to send this bassinet back. Now, just put this in perspective. I have a child that has passed away unexpectedly because, again, nobody goes into the hospital hoping that their child does not come out. Every parent, regardless if they're a no-account parent or not, for the most part, would assume that most parents would want to, again, have that time where we leave the hospital, where everything is good, we come home, and we start to live our lives. Well, that did not happen. It did not happen. So the company is reaching out and they're saying, you need to send this back. You need to send this back. And the sister's like, hey, where is the sympathy for this mother who just lost a child, who has this bassinet that's up against her bed and has no child to put into it? And you're the audacity to say, you need to send this back to us. We need this thing back. And I'm like, this is why it could very well be a non-paid, gifted collaboration. I'm going to be honest with you. I have no issues with doing anything gifted if it makes sense, because I'm the type of person that will look at what somebody is trying to send to me and ask myself, do I need that right now? Do I really need that? Is it something I would like to do? Is it something that I'm already familiar with? Is it something that goes, according to the things I love to enjoy? If that's the case, then hey, sign me up, figure that out. But if it's not, I'm going to have to pass. And especially if it's not being compensated, because it takes a lot of time to do these edits and to get it right and to do the overlays. It's not as easy and grand as everybody thinks. I have so many social media platforms at this point that I am rotating the material so that everything doesn't get posted at the same time. That takes a lot of work. I have to write this down. I got to edit. It's a process. I honestly believe in my whole heart of hearts that this had to be a gifted campaign, because some people in this whole, even if it's not gifted or if it's a collab, a lot of people get really misconstrued about the language of what that means. And so it's disheartening when you're like, hey, this was not a free buy. This was not a free anything. Like, this is not free. Let's like figure this out. And my issue with the situation is Happiest Baby decided that they needed to get this bassinet back. And again, can you imagine the fact that I have never lost a child, and I pray, Lord Jesus, please don't let this happen no time soon, that my child, something happens to them, and I signed us up for this campaign and they're just like, I don't care about that. I need you to send back the product. Now, do I understand to a certain extent that people are again trying to rebuild their lives after COVID, all these other things, but the bottom line has to be still people. I have it very much disturbing to hear that this company, who is a baby company of all places, this is not like your Target that has multiple products, and so they're not really able to tune into like what that means. They don't care if you want your product, if you want your money back, and it makes sense, we can do that. But in a situation such as the death of a baby, like losing a child at any stage has to be hard, but the baby that you didn't even get to enjoy, and you have this bassinet that's full with nothing in it, and the company is hounding you, harassing you, telling you have to do A, B, and C to avoid A, B, and C. And I'm like, my God, where is humanity at? Where is humanity at? Because I find it hard to continuously hear these stories and to think that we're living a life that makes sense, or that we're treating other people correctly when we're clearly not. When we're clearly not. Like, no circumstance are we. And so I have to say to that mother who may not never hear this podcast, but to a mother that may be going through some type of similar situation, the mental health of thinking, I'm in the midst of grief and I had this company hounding me down for a bassinet, for a bassinet. And who's to say that they didn't say, we're sorry for your loss and all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, that email is not very favorable. It's not. It makes it seem as if they wanted it back. They didn't care about the fact that she just lost her baby. And I can almost guarantee before the weekend is out, or during the weekend, by at least Monday, you're going to hear them make some statement as to, we had so many things going on. It was an oversight. Every excuse in the book that you can think of is going to happen tomorrow. I can almost guarantee it. I'm going to guarantee it. All I want to say is that, again, grief is such a hard concept to put into play. It's a hard concept because when you think about the fact that this, whoever you love is no longer there, like the concept of the fact that this company really is playing in my face. This company is really, really playing in my face right now, and they just want this back. Now, again, business is business, and businesses have to treat themselves as business, but where is the humanity at? I just don't get it. Why couldn't this company allow her to grieve and say, you know what, when the time is right, we're just requesting that you send it back? I mean, I might have rocked with that. Might have. But I surely cannot go down in history by knowing that a company called Happiest Baby. How are you concerned about children in general when you're worried about making sure you get your money back for a bassinet? For a bassinet. I mean, come on now. I just want us to make it make sense. And it's not mathing. The math is not mathing. It's not making any sense. But here we are, discussing it, talking about it, thinking about it. Right think pieces are happening. People are making social media posts about it. But at the end of any given day, everybody should have the process to grieve. Everybody. And the fact that these companies don't have that human touch, it says a lot. It says a lot. So in the midst of grief, your mind is all over the place. Your heart is completely broken. It shatters, asking yourself, how can I put my life back together? And I'm going to say it's not going to take a very long time, but it's going to take some time, because you can't just jump from one, having somebody in your world, having somebody in your life, and then going from that to nothing. It just cannot be. It can't. So I just want us to make sure that when we are in our day, or even if you're listening to this right now, that you just would say a prayer for that young woman who has lost her child and has this other company chasing her down because they want their product back. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like that, and I pray I never do, because that has to be disheartening. And to find out the way that she found out via email, you're sending me an email to tell me that you want this product back because I didn't deliver. And I didn't deliver just because I didn't want to deliver. I couldn't deliver because I just lost my child. I just lost my child. My body hasn't even had a chance to close, and I am without my child. Like, why don't we get that? And why are we making this to a thing where we just act like we're oblivious to grief? You may not have never experienced a loss of a child, but you can have enough empathy to say, listen, I don't understand it, but I'm here to walk you through. I'm going to pray with you. Let's hold hands. Like, let's do all the things that are going to make you like move in your destiny. Like, I don't get how anybody could not see the writing on the wall. I don't get it. But it's not, I don't get paid to think like that. I don't get paid to think like that. So that is what it is. I can't say enough. My heart goes out to that mother. My heart also goes out to that sister and everybody else in that family that's affected, the father, everybody that's going to be affected by the situation. I put prayer on that because there's nothing you could do but just be there for this mom, this parent, this couple, and pray that they can just get through. Because again, nobody wants to lose a child. You shouldn't have to bury your child. And to have your child taken before you can even start off their life has to be legitimately traumatic. And to experience such a traumatic situation, but have a company that again is the actual baby company, people who make baby items, and to have their response be as such, I am just floored, but I'm not shocked. Because at this point, I have to stop saying I'm shocked because I can't be. I can't be, because every time we turn around, something is happening. So we get into the place that we can't even recover from one tragedy because we're running into a different one. I'm just requesting peace and love to that family. And again, if you agree, just say amen. You ain't got to be loud. You ain't got to scream it out. Just say quiet amen in your spirit. Say it quietly out loud. Whatever you need to do, just say it, because we need to find a way for the do better to come and be a standard, because this is sheer madness. On another note, as we start to wind down this episode for this week, is that I want us to think about what 3 things we could do for the spring. It could be something fun. It could be something about gathering with the people. What can we do this spring that's going to help? And for me, I'm going to find a way to map out a great road trip. I'm always queen road trip. I've discovered by accident, I want to say, I discovered that I have a knack for driving long distances. It does not bother me. What actually bothers me is the city where it's stop and go every 2.3 seconds. That irritates me more than getting on a road and then having to take my time to get to where I need to be. So on my agenda for the spring is to take a great and amazing road trip. The other part of my content, not my content, but my spring goals is again to start increasing of the purchasing of flowers for myself. That way, if somebody else, aka my husband or somebody, gives me flowers in addition to that, then I'm already set. That's it. That's what I want to have done. And to continue to make changes. If you're not aware, this week I had a full-fledged web design revamp. So everything is fresh, everything is new. I absolutely love it. My webmaster is amazing. She literally can give you an answer about all kinds of things within a matter of moments. And I love that for me, because it's hard to find a web person that you don't think you're going to just end up giving them the money to go pick up stuff and they don't pick it up. Okay. So road tripping, I want to plan a trip, like a staycation for myself. Flowers, road trip, staycation. Those are my three options. That's what I want to do in the spring, in the season. What are you going to work on? What are you going to do? What are you looking forward to now that the weather is warming up a little bit more? Is there certain festivals? Because we are definitely going to be at the top of festival season. And if that's the case, like what are we going to do? Like find something fun. Find something fun that you really, really enjoy. And yes, I say that for every episode when we end it. And I'm saying that for just an everyday thing, but I'm saying also get into the pattern of like sitting still, praying to God to find out ways that you can boost your own personal morale. And sometimes the spring is one way to do it, and getting out a little bit more is one way to do it, or hanging out with your friends is one way to do it, or going to brunch with your loved ones is a way to do it. But whatever works for you, I just want you to do it, and I want you to do it very much well. I want you to do it and do it well, because you are absolutely deserving of that. This week, again, Philadelphia's content creation is just in some 5 seconds of shambles right now. I think it's going to recover. I don't think it's going to be anything that's stopping people's flow. It's not going to do anything like that. But I honestly believe that we just have to take the step back. Take that step back. Take the step back. You owe yourself rest. And I know we're told that we don't, but we do. We absolutely do need to find rest. So that is the end of this podcast. What I will say when it comes to like taking those moments, I'm realizing more and more, the more that I take the moments that I feel are necessary and my spirit is telling me I need to take a break, I need to step away, I need to do all those things, I need just to just go ahead and listen to that. Just go ahead and listen to that. Because again, that could be between yourself, life and or death, to allow yourself to get the space to read or to decompress. Today, I had to take some extra moments to decompress just because of the mindset where I'm at in life. All these different things are feeling like I'm being a burden to someone. I'm always asking somebody for help or anything. And I've been trying to remove those types of comments and things out of my vocabulary and replace them with things like, this is extremely hard, but I know that I'm built to figure it out. Those are type of little affirmations you can tell yourself because they work wonders. Trust me. Get into it with somebody. Have somebody go back to like something you did when you was in, 6th grade, second grade and all the other stuff. It can turn into a whole disaster. Okay? It really can turn into a disaster. So I say all that to say thank you for rocking out with me on another episode. This is Conversations with Toy. I am Toy, your podcaster, also content creator, also blogger, all the things. And I hope that you just had the most amazing weekend. And it's going to actually drop in weather. Now, I know we were just talking about how warm it is in the spring. We just talked about how great it is in the spring and gave a couple examples of things you can do in the spring. But let's also not forget the fact that in the spring, if we just take our time, we can get so much accomplished by taking the time to just listen to the person or listen to people that are around us that are super amazing. Make sure you're following some good people. Again, on the show notes, I'm going to make sure that I link the blog, which again has been revamped. Spring has sprung and it has brought a new website. It's so super clear. I can't wait for you to see it. Let me know some feedback that you have. I am completely open to them. Send them my way. After you've actually went in there and checked, don't just send me something that could tell like you never said anything. You just was doing the most. Bring me some good news. Bring me some good news. Give me some things that you want me to change. Give me some things that you want me to focus on. Just do all those things. But again, your mental health and your wellness is very much key. And it literally can unlock the door or it can block. It can block even your blessings. So let's go ahead and crush this, this day. Let's go ahead and crush this weekend. And let's make sure that we do something that's fun. Make sure we get outside for 10 minutes per day. Whatever the case may be, find it because you're going to want to make sure you're good. You should always make sure that you're good. Okay? So do just that. Make sure you are good. Take care of yourself. Treat yourself like a plant. You got to have food, you have to have water, you have to have all those things, but you are worthy of the sunshine that shines upon all of us. And whether that sun is out and it's a cloudy day or not, at the end of the day, the grace that abounds and surrounds all of us is important. So thank you for rocking out with Conversations with Toy. I will see you next week. Have a good one.
Thank you as always for joining me. And I know that even in the deepest or joyful conversations, that there's something we can learn and apply. Until next time, I hope that you are doing better. If not, we will be back to talk some more and handle it. Peace to you and yours. Stay grounded.